Good morning, day 165. I don't know if I said that yesterday, but today is actually 165. Yesterday was 164, so this is getting confusing. Anyway, a little more gardening to do yet. I have to clean up my deck. Been working on that. Sometimes doing things in bits and pieces works just as well as doing it all at once. I know sometimes people just want to get her done, but if you have issues like arthritis or fibromyalgia or any medical issues, sometimes you can't just get her done. And so what happens is a lot of people just stop doing whatever it is they want to do. They figure, well, if I can't get it done, I'm not going to do it. But in my opinion, that's a mistake. Because you can still do little things, little steps, baby steps. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. And it'll get there, maybe not as quickly, but it will work. I have discovered, though, that having fewer projects to do is a good, prudent thing to think about. Because if you have too many projects, eating too many elephants at one time doesn't work too well. So really, really sit down, make yourself a list of what's the most important to you and what you want to do, and go by that list and make it reasonable. Remember, make it the year of reasonable tasks, reasonable food. Just that fits with everything. So eat that elephant one bite at a time and just take a step. Sometimes that's all it takes, is to take a step. What's that old saying? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And that's so true. And that's the way it is with everything in life. Do something every day towards your goal, and you'll be surprised. I think for me, it helps to write things down, and then as I make progress, I can look back and see what I've accomplished. Not what I haven't done, but what I have done. And then sometimes that makes me very happy, and it puts a different spin on, I can't do this and I can't do that. It makes you feel better about the things you can do, and it makes you feel better about yourself. So that's all I have to say about that today. I'm going to take a baby step in the garden and plant some more seeds. And you can plant seeds all through the summer in succession planting. So don't think you missed the boat if you didn't plant anything. You can still get in some lettuces, and you can still buy some tomatoes, buy some starts, and work with those. They're usually not that expensive. And this time of the year, a lot of places will start putting things like that on sale. Or go to the sad and almost dead plant stand and see what you can get maybe for free. And start there. All right, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, make my to-do list, fill out my bloom page, and then get dressed and go do something in the garden, because that always makes me feel good. All right, I'll be back later with breakfast, day 165. Breakfast, day 165. Alrighty. Let's see. I think I want an Impossible sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich. That sounds good. So I'm just going to take some slice of American cheese and some of my Walmart bread. And an egg. Just one egg and one sandwich. And let's see what's in the freezer. Okay, the sausage is right here, and this is good. And I made it in the air fryer last time. It's the savory flavor. I guess they have other flavors too. So I'm going to make a couple of these again and have one for a different meal. All right, I will meet you at the stove. Okay, later I still have mashed potatoes left. And I want to make some sort of fritters later, but I have this shredded zucchini that's been in here a long time. It's probably got a little frost on it, but that's okay. I'm gonna let it thaw because I don't want it real wet. So I'm going to thaw this out and put that in with my fritters. I still have a couple other ones here. And I have no idea. This is a mystery thing down here. But anyway, that is what I'm going to make later. And we'll see what else will go in there. All right. Okay, later I still have mashed potatoes left. And I want to make some sort of fritters later, but I have this shredded zucchini that's been in here a long time. It's probably got a little frost on it, but that's okay. I'm gonna let it thaw because I don't want it real wet. So I'm going to thaw this out and put that in with my fritters. I still have a couple other ones here. And I have no idea. This is a mystery thing down here. But anyway, that is what I'm going to make later. And we'll see what else will go in there. All right. I'm cooking my egg in my mini griddle here. And it's not quite done. And then I toasted my bread. Put a little cheese on, my Impossible sausage. And I'm just going to let this cook until it's done. I'll be back. Okay, my egg is done. I just put a little salt on there. And I really like this little mini griddle for making eggs. It works really well. And it doesn't stick. So that's nice too. All right, it's hot enough to melt the cheese. So there we have it. Breakfast, day 145. I heated up my coffee. Sausage, egg, and cheese, and I'm going to enjoy this while I make my garden plan, and then I'm going to go out in the garden. All right, okay, I'm back at the stove. Before I go out to plant my seeds, I'm going to make something for my dinner. So I have here about 3/4 of a cup of just plain old rice. And to that I'm going to add these beans that I cooked the other day. So, and I'm also going to use some of the bean liquid. So I'm just going to put these beans in here, and these are already lightly seasoned, but I'm still going to add some more seasoning to the rice. because I think I'm going to make some tacos. I have all the ingredients for that, so that would be good. And it would be quick. All right. Now to this rice, I want to add 3/4 of a cup of rice. I want to add about 1.5 cups of liquid because usually rice is 2 to 1. So I'm going to put in some of this bean juice. I like bean juice. If you don't like it, just use water. So I'll put in, 3/4 of a cup of the bean juice. And then I'll put in also 3/4 of a cup of water. Okay, 3/4 of a cup of water. And then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of this taco seasoning from Dollar Tree. It's really pretty salty. So I'll put in a small teaspoon. I can always put more, but I don't want this too salty because this is almost all salt. And then I also think I'm going to add a little bit more cumin because I like cumin. So I'll put in about, a small 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, because I think the taco seasoning already has cumin in it. Alright, and that's it. I'm going to microwave this for 12 minutes. And these beans are already pretty soft, so they may just turn into, this might turn into rice and refried beans, I don't know. Okay. So that's it. I'm going to pop it in the microwave and it'll be done in 12 minutes. It can sit there while I go out and plant a few seeds. Alright, I'm back. I didn't put this in the oven or in the microwave yet. And before I did, I thought I'd check my onion stash, and I have an onion in there that's starting to sprout. And I'm not going to plant this one. I'm just going to cut it up. It's just a small one, and put it in with this. And I also want to add just a little dash of this Tony Chachere's Creole. For me, it's just going to be a little tiny bit. I'm not a big fan of heat, and this is also salty. That's enough for me, but it will give it some flavor. So I'm going to chop this up, stick it in there. This will add more flavor, and then I'm going to cook it. Let's see what's for dinner, day 165. Okay, I still have this very last vegan hot dog. I'm going to have that. I have a couple buns left. And then I have the sauerkraut left from the other day. And I'm going to have some of these beets that I found in my stash. All right, I think that's enough food. I will meet you at the stove. All right, I have some of the beans and rice that I made earlier today. And I did end up putting a little bit of sweet corn, frozen corn in there. So using up some of the corn that I have in the freezer. And I zapped this bun a little bit since it was in the refrigerator, just to soften it up a little bit. And I'm going to put some of this dill mustard on here because it's tasty, and I think it would be good with the sauerkraut. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of ketchup. Not too much. I don't like too much ketchup. All right. And then I heated up the sauerkraut and the hot dog. So today I did some planting of just seeds. So I got some of that done. And I still have some seeds that I want to plant. I want to plant some bush beans, and I have some onions that I want to stick in the ground. So anyway, here is my dinner, quick and easy. And I used up all the sauerkraut from the freezer. I'm going to have that with some of these pickled beets. And I saved the onion top from that onion that was sprouting. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on my hot dog. And also on my beans. All right. So there it is. Dinner, day 156. Leftovers from my freezer and cooking down the frozen veggies, using up beets from the pantry. So there we have a cheap meal. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. After dinner, and dinner was good, so I'm just going to have a cup of tea. And I want to have it with some of this honey, cinnamon, and vanilla creamer. So a lot of times in the afternoon, when I'm done or just relaxing for a little bit, taking a break, I'll have a cup of tea instead of a cup of coffee. And I just let this steep in here all day long. I usually make it in the late morning. Put the tea bag in the pot, turn on the warmer, and when I'm ready, then I have a cup of tea. So I thought this creamer might be tasty in tea. It's not my favorite in coffee, but in tea it's fine. So grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and let's go have a little chat at my kitchen table. I had a little tiny bit of soy milk left in my refrigerator. So what I did was I made some froth. I don't know if you can see that or not, that I'm going to put on my tea. So now I have a tea latte. Yum! So treat yourself every now and then. This would be good with some cinnamon on top or some cinnamon sugar. So let me give it a taste, because I did put that creamer in there too. That's good. Very good. And very messy. So I did finally use up that soy milk that I've been working on, because that was a big container. But I have more in the stash downstairs, so I'll be bringing some of that up. And today I did get some gardening done. What I usually do is I make little plans as to what I'm going to plant where. And these just happen to be my raised bed planters. So I planted quite a few things in there. Basil, parsley, scallions, chives, lettuces of course, some spinach, beets, and arugula. And each one of these little sections on those planters is about a foot. So, and I know not everything's going to come up, and I'll have to thin them out, but my plan is as the seedlings emerge, to cut them off and eat them as like a microgreen. So we'll see how that works out, or at least thin them out that way. I did the same thing with the kohlrabi. I overplanted them, and I had read somewhere to plant them 4 inches apart, and then when some of them get to be 2 inches like every other one, to go ahead and harvest them already. So I thought if I could do that with the kohlrabi, why not do that with lettuces and herbs and things like that. So I do feel like I made some progress today. Not a whole lot, you know, it's the weekend, and I'm kind of chilling a little bit. I didn't do anything real productive today, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to go like a whirlwind. Not that I ever do, but you don't have to go quick all the time. So, what do you guys like to do on the weekend? Do you like to just chill? Do you use the weekend to catch up on all your chores? Maybe if you're still working, or even if you're not working. Do you have specific days where you do things? I don't have specific days where I do certain things. Like right now I threw in some laundry. My mother-in-law, rest her soul, she was a dear person, but she used to have a schedule every week. Tuesday was her day off, and she would go with her lady friends and do whatever it was lady friends do. And then she had Friday, I know they had hard-boiled eggs for dinner. And, you know, she just was very routine-oriented, which when I was younger would absolutely drive me crazy, because I hated routine. But now that I've gotten older, I'm actually enjoying a little bit of a routine. You know, I usually don't do laundry on a certain day, or I don't do cooking on certain days. That stuff is all pretty much spontaneous. But what I mean about routine is, I think that's the wrong word. I think systems would be more appropriate. I like having systems. I like having a system for cleaning up, or a system, like now I'm trying to get a system going for my garden. And that way you don't constantly have to reinvent the wheel, because that is time consuming. So, I don't know, do you guys have systems? Do you have routines? Let me know in the comments below. So I'm going to go enjoy my tea. It was a nice day. It was cool, which was really nice for doing some garden work. And I was sort of in and out and doing this and doing that. I did some cooking. And the beans and rice, they're good. And I have enough of those now for a couple meals. I have a couple of ideas what I want to do with them, but I really enjoyed the vegan hot dog with the mustard and ketchup and sauerkraut. That was really tasty. So out of a sauerkraut that I made for New Year's Eve, I got a lot of meals, because that little bag was the second bag of sauerkraut that I ate. And I got 2 meals out of that, and I think I got 2 meals out of the other one, and I don't really remember how many meals I got out of the original cooking. So by adding different things to your meals, especially things like pasta, potatoes, rice, you can stretch your meals way further than if you just eat, like a baked potato and a piece of meat and a vegetable. So, not that there's anything wrong with that, and I enjoy that sometimes too, but adding other things like rice and potatoes and pasta to simple things you already have, like if you have a piece of leftover meat, cut it up and turn it into a casserole for 1 or 2 people. Cut it in smaller pieces. Even if you have like a sausage or something like that, cut it up in small pieces and add other things to it. And you will be amazed how far your food will go. And that's part of the reason I'm on day 165 of cooking down my refrigerator, pantry, and freezer, because that's how I cook. So, all right, my friends, I don't have anything else for you today. I'm going to go relax, put my feet up a little bit, enjoy my tea, and think about what I want to make with those beans and rice. All right. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.